What's up YouTube, always lucky draws here today with my Locust review. In the first tournament I played with SwordSoul, in the second with Heroes. My first match was against Floowandereeze. I won the dice roll and opened up pretty bad. I had no real normal summon. I had to normal summon Ash to go into the halfy breaks. He had Ash, but luckily I had Cold by the Grave to negate his Ash, so I could go into the Yasi combo with Auraudon and getting myself the Baxia to the field, attributing one token on the field to special summon Mui, and with Mui I can go into Grandmaster, and Grandmaster gives me the Long Yuan to get the level 10 synchro on the board. So I had pretty strong monsters on the field, and I could also go into Chao Feng to negate all light monsters since I didn't know what he was playing. And to set I had one Blackout and one Imperm. He Book of Moon my level 10 synchro and searched for himself one Eaglin. He normal summoned him. I tried to negate him, but no, I didn't try to negate him. I activated Blackout to destroy his monster and the field spell, since the field spell allows him to make one additional normal summon. So he could still normal summon one additional monster and getting his search. So in total he had two normal summons, and I had two negates. That means he can't summon his Empen, since I can negate both of his normal summons. So that was pretty much it for this turn, since he used his quick spell, he used his field spell, and his normal summons will be negated by my monsters and traps. So his turn was over. He set one and passed turn. My draw wasn't that great. I had no real follow-up as a normal summon, so I went into the battle phase, destroyed his monsters, and I summoned a token by banishing with a Grandmaster my trap, targeting my level 10 synchro and getting all my 10 effects, since I control one non-effect monster, so I could trigger them all and summoning additional monsters, and that was game. In game 2 he went first, he played the pot to draw cards, but I had a drawn Lockbird to shut his turn down. He activated his field spell and set 2 and passed turn. I had a brick hand, to be honest. I played evenly matched to force some of his cards. He activated the quick spell. I negated his quick spell with Ash, but had to pass turn since I had no normal summon. He played the eagle, normal summoned the eagle, but I had another drawn Lockbird to stop his turn. He could only normal summon the Empen, and getting no searches for him, went into the battle phase and passed turn. I had Vishuda to bounce his Empen and activating the vessel, forcing his Ash to be activated, and now I could Monster Reborn my Ash from the graveyard to go into the halfy breaks and getting the Auraudon combo, and my opponent gave up. He knew what was coming, but the Monster Reborn worked out pretty well this time. Match 2 I played against Madolche, my first time playing against this deck. I didn't know any card effects, but the deck is pretty simple. They have a lot of special summon effects. He normal summoned and searched, but I had drawn Lockbird to stop additional searches. He played the continuous spell card and special summoned another Madolche monster and another one, and I was like, okay, cool. He can special summon a lot of them. They have all the same effect. They can special summon additional monsters to the field. So that was my feeling, at least. As you can see, he special summoned a ton of them. And the best part was he has Dimensional Shifter in the main deck, and they can play it in the end phase. I was like, really? How? I think only Floowandereeze can play this card, but no, Madolche can play this as well. And I had, unfortunately, a lot of tennis in my hands, so the Dimensional Shifter shut me down completely, and I couldn't go into the halfy break since my Despot will be banished, and my Moe effect got negated by his trap, which negates the monster effect. So the game was lost. I couldn't do that much. The Dimensional Shifter killed me. If he wouldn't have the Dimensional Shifter, I would be able to break his board for sure with my tennis. But having all my monsters banished is not that great. So yeah, the game was lost. I was just watching his cards, his tech plays. He had also Dino Wrestler, Pot of Prosperity. So a lot of power cards mixed in with the Madolche main core. The Madolche main core is not that strong. They don't have super amazing boss monsters, but with the support of the Dino Wrestler, the Pot, and the Dimensional Shifter, The deck was quite painful to play against, to say the least. As you can see, I lost game 1 and was praying for a better game 2. In game 2 I decided to go first obviously, but he had Dimensional Shifter once again. So it was very painful. I lost all my resources since they were banished. I was able to summon the level 10 Synchro and my Grandmaster to the field, but not getting the pluses, for example the Moi draw, the tennis in the graveyard, no resources at all. I had 2 Synchro monsters and 2 set. One was Blackout and the other one was Cosmic Cyclone. And yeah, that was basically it. He played Dark Ruler No More and Small World to search him the Dino Wrestler. He special summoned the Dino Wrestler and destroyed one of them back row, the Blackout. And when Blackout is banished, I get 1 token to the field. So that was at least something positive to say so. And yeah, he could still play all his Madolche monsters. Going into the XC play, the Madolche XC, and attacking my token. And of course in the end phase I activated Cosmic Cyclone to destroy his negate back row. I had no real follow-up, I could only attack his monsters. And I just dumped the additional monster to the graveyard with Vessel to have at least 1 negate with Grandmaster, but that was it. I was just hoping that the 1 negate with Grandmaster would be enough against one of his boss monsters, which would be troublesome for me. But his XE monsters and his Link monsters were not that powerful. The 1 Link monster is only protected by destruction, and his Madolche XE monster can shuffle Madolches back from the graveyard to the deck. So it was not super scary, to say so. So I was a bit relieved when he only summoned his Madolche XE monster and his Link monster. So I was completely fine with the summons, since they were no threat to me. And the SwordSoul deck outperforms the Madolche deck by a mile in terms of consistency and top decks, etc. The grind game. I have a lot of cool top decks like Taya, the Summit, etc. So that was a plus point for me. And yeah, as you can see, he went into the Link and into the XE monster. I just was reading the cards and realized that it's all fine, no problem at all. He could only pass his turn since he was not able to break my board. And in my turn I drew, I didn't know what I drew, but it wasn't super helpful. I went into the battle phase, he activated the effect of his Link monster obviously to protect it, and I set 1 card and passed turn. He drew and had to pass turn since he had no real play, and it was my turn and I summoned Baron de Fleur and yeah, went for a game. In game 3 he decided to go first since he has the combo deck. He opened up with his normal summon, searching himself a Madolche monster. Luckily I had the Joel Lockbird to stop any further searches, so no trap card for him. He could only summon his XE monster and his Link monster, and that was it. He had to pass turn. And in my turn I could summon Baron de Fleur with Long Yuan, activating Baron de Fleur's effect to destroy his XE monster. He could chain the effect of his monster, and I was thinking on chaining Baron de Fleur negate, and I decided to do so. Normal summon Taya, but he had effect Veiler to negate my Taya. So maybe I shouldn't activate the Baron chain, so it was a mistake on my part, but you never know about the hand traps. So I passed turn, and he played Pot of Prosperity, milling 6. He had a bunch of hand traps, Nibiru, Ash, Gamma, Dimension Shifter or something like that, so not that amazing. He normal summoned the Madolche monster, special summoned another one, and I negated the special monster, so he couldn't special any further monster and had to pass turn. I could OTK him in my turn with the Tire effect, getting Baxia, bouncing 2 cards, and yeah, that was it. In match 3 I played against Prank Kids with Brave tokens. I won the dice roll and opened up pretty good. I had the immersions to get myself the Moi. A special summoned Atara and normal summoned Moi in case he has effect Veiler or Imperm on my Moi. I can still follow up with a Halfy Breaks. So I summoned the Grandmaster, the level 10 Synchro, and my Monk activating Vessel. He had Ash against my Vessel, set 1 and passed turn. He had Imperm on my Banish Synchro, and activated Small World to get Water Enchantress, but I had Rivalry of the Warlord. When he activated right, I chained the Rivalry so he couldn't normal summon, and that was game, since he's locked only into fairies and Praying Kids don't have any fairy monsters. Super amazing card. Game 2 he decided to go first. Obviously he didn't brick, but his starting hand was not that great. He had Fusion Destiny only as a play and set 1. And past turn I opened up with Evenly Matched to force one of his cards. It was a Cold by the Grave. Later on I summoned one monk. He was forced to activate Phoenix Destroyer, but luckily I had another Tenny to summon another monk, playing the Vessel, getting all my Tennies to the graveyard to special summon them to the field, and getting my Grandmaster. With Grandmaster I searched myself the Tire, since I didn't use my normal summon yet. And yeah, that's what I'm doing now, normal summoning Tire, but he had Token Collector to negate my tokens. And with Shooter in the graveyard is always nice. I bounced his Token Collector and could still continue with my play. I had my Long Yuan discarding one of my Tennies and getting the level 10 Synchro on the field, which banishes the Brave tokens. And yeah, I was very confident with my board now. He had only Phoenix Destroyer, but I had Grandmaster to counter Phoenix Destroyer. He activated Small World to get himself the Brave tokens, the Water Enchantress, but as you know, my Banish guy, he is able to banish the token plus the continuous spell card, and also burning for 2400 life points, so it's very, very amazing against the Brave token engine. And his Phoenix Destroyer would be negated by my Grandmaster. His only way was to go into battle phase and destroying one of my monsters, or forcing the effect of the Grandmaster, chaining the destruction effect to destroy my Banish guy, so his tokens would be live. I couldn't banish the Brave tokens and continue spell, but he didn't do that and basically gave up. So a little mistake on his part, but yeah, I had follow up in the next turn, so yeah. Match 4 was against Floowandereeze, another player. He was also like me 3-0 in the tournament. It was the match for the first place. He won the dice roll and opened up with Pot of Extravagance, banishing 6 from the extra deck and drawing 2 cards. Followed by, like always, Pot of Duality, getting one of the cards to the hand. And yeah, also getting the map by activating Terraforming. So he had basically every card he needs. The map, the normal summon, plus I think he had the quick spell, I'm not sure. But he normal summoned his monster, activated the effect, and I don't know what happened, but maybe he activated the quick spell. But he ended up with only a weak board. He had the normal summon and set 1 in past turn. I don't know which hand trap I activated, but it stopped him. I activated Pot of Desires, played a Long Yuan, getting myself the Baron de Fleur, normal summoning Tire, getting the token, getting Grandmaster, getting the Surge. So it looks very, very good for me in this moment. I could clear his entire board with both of my monsters, and I have double negate. He had Imperm set to negate my Grandmaster, but yeah, that was it. I mean, he couldn't do that much. He lost a lot of resources. I had 2 monsters on the field with double negate plus set 1. I mean, he activated Pot of Extravagance again, but it was not enough to win the game, since I had also the tennis in the hand and the triple tax talent. In game 2, he obviously went first. What a wonder. He opened up with Gold Sarcophagus, banishing one of his monsters to search himself the map. And I had no hand trap to stop him, so I just was watching him playing all the cards and yeah, establishing his board. 1 plus point, I had Evenly Matched in hand, so I could clean his board. He searched himself the Scary Sea Trap, which negates special summoned monsters. So it was useless in this moment, but he didn't knew I had Evenly in hand. But it was lucky for me. You can't see it, but he had Empen on board and the Wind Statue, so I couldn't special summon other than Wind monsters. So my first move was obviously activating Evenly Matched and cleaned his board. He had only Empen on the field. I played the Long Yuan, getting the Baron de Fleur and activating the destruction effect, so Empen was out of the picture. I normal summoned Moi, went into Grandmaster, searched myself the Blackout, and yeah, from this point on it was over. I had the 2 back row plus 2 negates on the field. And he lost all his important cards, the map, the amp, and the statues. So yeah, there was no hope for him, unfortunately. So it was a very quick game. And yeah, my first tournament win, luckily. Finally with SwordSoul. The deck is super strong. In my online tournament, I'm 8-0 at the moment with SwordSoul. And now with 4-0, pretty amazing result.